Hello, my name is Cindy Niceforo, and I live here in Thorold with my husband. I came to the Niagara Regional Council to ask them to pass Councillor Haley Bateman's courageous motion to support both the Palestinian and the Jewish communities here and in Israel, Palestine. It is past time that we all stand together along with the global community here to demand an immediate ceasefire in the conflict in Gaza and to stop the genocide that is happening in Palestine with an immediate release of the hostages and prisoners, and then an immediate deployment of the United Nations peacekeeping forces until lasting peace is established. People all over the world have been coming out in droves to protest Israel's indiscriminate killing sprees and denial of food, water, and medical supplies. The situation there is the worst it's ever been, but it's not at all new. It's well known that the occupation itself is the root cause of this crisis and that the Western nations have been complicit since 1948. Since then, Israel has illegally occupied territories in the West Bank and Gaza, denied the Palestinian people basic human rights like water and food, medical housing, and education. Israel has violated hundreds of resolutions of the United Nations, and many of these violations were before October 7th. Since long before October 7th, there have been many Jewish-based nonprofit organizations that have been speaking out against the human rights violations committed against the Palestinian people, and they have been at the protests since October 7th, along with the rest of us, standing shoulder to shoulder with the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people that I have spoken to have only expressed grief and sorrow for the Israelis who lost their lives and were taken taken by Hamas. Last reported, more than 26 Palestinians, 70% women and children, have been killed. Israel dropped more than 6,000 bombs per week in the first 3 weeks, and many, many more since. They dropped 2,000-pound bombs onto areas that were declared safe by Israel, including refugee camps. 85% of Gazans have been forced to flee their homes, and these aren't just numbers. This isn't collateral damage. These are human beings just like us. Since then, there's been much in the way of clear physical evidence provided by many reliable sources that reveal horrific war crimes. To doubt the premise of South Africa's charges against Israel for genocidal intent is disturbing. Given the way that Israel has launched its military campaign and actual content of Netanyahu's speeches, genocidal intent is clear. So why did Prime Minister Trudeau take the stand that he did not accept the premise? Could it be because the US is Canada's biggest trading partner and they back Israel? Or that in 2022, trade between Canada and Israel was valued at $2.1 billion? Those numbers include arms sales. The F-35 fighter jets that were used in the strikes contained Canadian-made parts. What we need to do is stop doing business with Israel altogether. We need to impose sanctions, we need to divest, we need to boycott all Israeli products, and we need to demand an immediate ceasefire and stop the genocide for the sake of all the dead and injured and their families, for the sake of all those who are incarcerated on both sides and their families, for the sake of the communities of people there and here that are frightened and grief-stricken, for the sake of simple human decency. We need to demand an immediate ceasefire and stop the genocide. To Haley Bateman, thank you. To NMJPI, who is now allowing me to speak, thank you. To Celine, thank you, because the Niagara Regional Council did not let me speak.